Horrible. Danny boy. All right, mate. How's it going?
Mate.
Didn't think you'd be here today, later on.
No, I loaded in my stuff at lunchtime. So drums are all set up at the venue, honestly.
Right, George, you ready, mate?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Ted, are you okay going around the film?
Yeah, which side are we shooting?
I don't know yet.
I'll just wait and then I'll go around.
Well, good afternoon and welcome back to Tattenham for today's Southern League Premier South match between Poole Town and Sholing. I'm once again joined by George Fullerton. George, it has been a little bit while since we last had you on commentary. You looking forward to today?
Absolutely buzzing. Yeah, absolutely buzzing for today. I think it's a big game, isn't it, Connor? Because the reverse fixture, let's be honest, was a bit of an embarrassment. Sholing absolutely turned us over on the day, and despite a very poor performance on that day, I think today's a day we can turn things around. We can go in today with, I guess, like a renewed sense of confidence, given that was really early in the season, and we've had a really good run to find ourselves third in the table. And Sholing, very good outfit, slightly below us. So today's a chance to get ahead of them as far as we can into this Christmas period.
Well, I can see the sides in the tunnel awaiting to come out onto the field for today's Southern League Premier South match. It should be a good one, third against sixth in the Southern League. And it's going to be a tough test today. You mentioned there when we last faced Sholing, it was a 4-1 defeat. And to be honest, like Sholing were easily I think you may have commentated on that one with me, potentially.
No, I don't think so. I
Maybe
think
not.
I might have been tweeting. Probably nearly broke my phone.
Yeah.
Just how angrily I was like stabbing the.
I mean, it really could have been a 4-0 loss on the day. I think
Yeah.
Tyrrell Sampson scored in, might have been the 93rd minute or something, which kind of shows the general reflection of the game.
Yeah.
But the teams are now emerging onto the field for today's game. It's a huge game at Tattenham, our last one before Christmas, and hopefully we'll be able to get the 3 points out there today.
It'll be amazing to get the 3 points today. I mean, obviously looking at the table, if we were to get a win today, means that we'd be in a very, very good position come Christmas Day. I think that's what every Dolphin fan wants, Connor, to be opening their presents and knowing that the biggest present is looking at the league table and just refreshing it over and over again and seeing that we are well and truly in the playoffs and in a strong position. But I think there's a little gap between us and Sholing. So if Sholing were to win today, it'd be very good for them in many senses, but a win for us today would be huge. Separates us a little bit more, but also just means we can feel like we're as close to Gloucester and Walton and Hersham as possible going into the second half of the season. I think actually before the game, Connor, you posted a little snippet of Chris Reeves and Andy Roster talking about how pleased they were with the start to the season. But a big comment that Andy Roster made, which is really true, is actually there's a long way to go. We've still got half the season to go, and anything can happen now. We can really kick on. We could go through a bit of a slump. I really hope that it's the former, and we have a really good game today, which puts us into a really busy and hopefully successful Christmas period for us.
Well, I think that's something we've certainly got to remember, isn't it? We're only halfway through this campaign. There's no guarantee that we will be in the playoffs come the end of the season, but we're in a position where we can really start to push on now. Going out today with an unchanged 11, which I think may be the first time this season we've had an unchanged 11, which is good to see. And it's the same bench out there as well today. We'll give you a quick run through of the Poole Town side this afternoon. In goal is number 1, Adam Parks, and back 4, once again, of Ryan Campbell, Chris Campbell, Corey Jordan, and Owen Dorr. Midfield 3 today of Billy Lowe's, Harvey Slade and Antonio Diaz, and a front 3 of Shaquille Gongwe, Ao and Salim Saeed, with a new hairstyle out there today,
Yeah.
George.
I was going to say that's the only thing that's not unchanged about us is Salim with his slick cornrows. So, to be fair, when I saw him earlier warming up, I was like, oh, we've got a new player in the squad, have we? And then I realised it was Salim. Fantastic.
A word from Dan Wilson there. Dan, what's your score predictions today?
3-1 Dolph.
3-1 Dolph. There we go. That's what we like to hear.
That'd be a good
But
result.
we know it will be a tough game today. Poole Town and Sholing coming up against each other. When the sides met here last season, it was a 2-0 win for Poole Town, and it was an enjoyable day right at the very end of last season, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think that realistically, Sholing have moved on since then. I think the sort of last few seasons they've mainly been sort of, between the mid-table and the playoff spots, trying to hit that position. But this season they look like a really good outfit. That time when we went to theirs was a really, really difficult game. They were absolutely superb. I think other than Farnham, they were probably the best outfit we've played in terms of their performance on the day. But we've been really, really consistent this season. And actually, one thing I've been really impressed with Pat and Joe's team is that if we've lost Connor or we've had a bad performance, even like the Tiverton draw recently, we bounce back and you can see there's that togetherness, there's that unity and that real will. The players want to do well, they want to impress their management and they want to impress the fans who they play for every single week.
Well, we are looking to get underway this afternoon. There's a Southern League Premier South match between Poole Town and Sholing, and there is the referee's whistle, and we are away this afternoon. Just getting the timer started on the big scoreboard, and Sholing with the ball at the back through their captain. Number 5 sets it all the way back to Dec McCarthy in goal today for Sholing, who did replace Kerry King just a month ago. Slight foul in midfield. The referee has allowed the game to continue. Gwengwe heads it on to Antonio Diaz. Back to Chris Campbell, who's in again at right back today. Campbell round the corner into Slim Saeed. Onto Ao. Good start from the Dolphins so far. Saeed still goalless if you are just joining us here. The game has just got underway. Chris Campbell now taking his time on the ball, and Chris Campbell sets it back to Harvey Slade, and we go all the way back to Owen Dorr. Starting alongside Corey Jordan today. Slade. Dorr again. Plays the ball out to the left flank. Here's Ryan Campbell now, wearing the captain's armband today once again. Lowe's. Onto Harvey Slade, and midfield pivot finds Antonio Diaz. Onto Chris Campbell, who's got a bit of space, and he skips around Joey Rabbits at ease. Looking for Gwengwe in behind. Away, but not far enough, and Chris Campbell still battling away, and it's a really good challenge. I think it might have been Sam Magri who clattered into his man there. Here's for Livy now, Sholing's first chance to come forward in this game. It's been a slightly eventful start 1 minute into this one, George.
Yeah, quite a frenetic start, and some really good football from Poole, getting on the ball, trying to work those little triangles. Chris Campbell looking like he's trying to take on his man as well, which is good to see. You know, I think that's the thing about Chris Campbell, so versatile. The fact that he can play at right back, he's pretty much both-footed, isn't he? He's ambidextrous, so it's a massive, massive asset with Josh McCormick being unavailable today, unfortunately. But you know, Charlie Davis has filled in there, but Chris Campbell probably the prime candidate.
Sholing on the front foot here, and they've got space down the left-hand side. Shot from the edge, and it's well held by Adam Parks. But that's an early effort on goal there for Sholing.
Yeah, I think Pat and Joe want Poole to get a little bit tighter. Those players that are on the edge of the box, and Jake McCarthy, obviously a former Dolphin, is a real threat for them. Certainly a player who can pick up the ball, and he scored quite a few. In fact, he's their top scorer, isn't he? Other than him and Folivy for Sholing have scored a few goals already this season. I think 10 for McCarthy. Great
work down the left flank here from Poole. It's Ao looking for Slim Saeed, who does well on the cutback, and he's skipped round his man with ease. Saeed across the face of goal, and it's away by Sam Magri back there. Sam Magri obviously started the season with Bracknell, was involved in that dramatic 4-3 win. I mean, it was a fantastic game on the day, wasn't it, George?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing, you know, I think with the calibre of players that we have available, we're able to pull results out.
Cleared away by Magri once again. Chris Campbell unable to keep it in play, but it will be a Poole Town throw-in on the right-hand side here. Big warm welcome to everyone listening along from home today. Do hope you are enjoying it. Still goalless here at Tattenham. 3 minutes played. Diaz, ball over the top, looking for Harvey Slade. It's good control from him. Shoved out the way back there by Mason, I believe it was. Here's for Livy, who goes down under very minimal contact, but the referee does award Sholing a free kick in their own half.
Looks like Poole are really trying to sort of get the overload on that right-hand side. You can see that Antonio Diaz or Ao as well, just teaming up over on that right-hand side. Only thing is, I'm noticing as soon as we lose the ball, there's a lot of space in the midfield. Got to be careful because that counter-attack is on, and they do have a few players who can cause us problems in the attacking areas of the pitch.
Here is the number 5, Dan Wishart, central defender who came over from Hemel Hempstead with Craig King, goalkeeper who did depart the club a month ago and has now been replaced by Declan McCarthy. Actually faced in pre-season for Fareham Town. Brilliant from Ryan Campbell, now breaking forward into Diaz. Set back to Harvey Slade. Nice link up from Poole so far. Chris Campbell at right back. Ball down the line, looking for Antonio Diaz here. Chris Campbell's an option and he uses it. Campbell. Diaz again. Nice link up between those two. Diaz looking for the run into the area. Gwengwe could almost made it, and it's into the hands of Declan McCarthy. Shouts of a potential corner there. Waved away by the referee, but again, it was a decent move from Antonio Diaz, and he's linked up really nicely so far with Chris Campbell, hasn't he?
Yeah, some really sharp sort of one-touch, two-touch football, and just nice to see us linking up and just moving the ball as quickly as we can. It's the best way to play football, to be honest, Connor, especially when you've got a pitch as beautiful as this, even in a tough period of the year. And heavy rain the other day, it's playing beautifully. Fair play to Josh Staunton. We always give him credit, don't we? But just immaculate for this time of the year. You won't find a pitch of this level that's in better condition.
And I think we've got to give big credit to all the volunteers and our other groundsman Alan as well, who's
absolutely
down here day in day out pretty much, ensuring the pitches are in a good condition to play on. And as you said, George, this season we haven't had a game called off due to the pitch, whereas last season we probably had about 5 or 6 by this time, didn't we?
Yeah, I mean, ever since Josh and the volunteers have been involved, it's been absolutely fantastic, and it's just so nice having a pitch that away fans are quite jealous of, I think, or at least appreciate and admire. But yeah, it's definitely a huge asset for the club now as Sholing come driving through the midfield. Good
pressure from Billy Lowe's up against the number 16 over there, Reece Wiley, but the referee pulling it back for a free kick to Sholing here. Look, today is going to be a tough test, isn't it, George, against a Sholing side who are sixth in the division. We know they've got quite a lot of money involved in their football club. They've got a lot of players who have played at the level above.
Yeah.
But I think we can compete with them today, and we come into this game in good form. We're unbeaten in 6, won 4 out of our last 6 matches, and I think we definitely could get a result today.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a chess match, I think. You can just see sort of in the early exchanges, Sholing are aware of Poole's attacking prowess, and they're just looking to sort of soak up that pressure and hit us when they can, like this one here with a free kick.
Ball into the air now for Sholing. Good ball in there, and he got contact on that too. A little bit of shirt pulling involved in there. Still alive for Sholing. Owen Dorr away, and now Ayo can break. I mean, could be a handball there. The referee is going to pull it back. I've got to say, Sam Magri had a lot of space at the back stick, and there was definitely a shirt pulling involved there.
Yeah, it's a tough one for the referee. I think it's such a congested area of bodies, but yeah, the Sholing bench seemed pretty convinced that it was a pull, but no, referee's not seen enough to point to the spot there. And Poole have just sort of needlessly rushed their free kick and given the ball straight back to Sholing.
Played forward by the away side. Good defending by Owen Dorr on that far side, and it will be a Poole Town throw. And how impressive those two being, Owen Dorr and Corey Jordan, are two, probably most noticeable out-and-out centre-halves. Obviously, Ade is on the bench, Jamie Whisker now on loan at Shaftesbury for the rest of the month, and Josh Dodson retiring. We've only really got 2, including Ade, 3 renowned centre-halves in the squad.
Yeah, and obviously Ade's literally just come in, hasn't played for us until signing, didn't get any minutes the other day either, so it's a bit of a risk for Pat and Joe just to drop Addy into the mix, even though he's experienced, very good centre half. But had some good news the other day. I actually went to there was a community event at St John's Church in Ashley Road, and Chris Reeves and I were there helping out some homeless and lonely people with a Christmas meal. And on the phone, Chris Reeves was saying someone from Shaftesbury, that apparently Whisk had a really good 25 minutes for Shaftesbury against Bashley the other day. So good to know that he's making good progress with his recovery, and great that he's getting some minutes at Shaftesbury.
In a Shaftesbury side who are doing well in the Division 1. Corey Jordan comes across to cover, and it's on to Billy Lowe's now. Good turn from him, and just about gets away with it. The referee not really letting this game flow too nicely at the moment. It's been a little bit stop-start in the early stages.
Yeah, and it's probably been a little bit sort of, you could argue think the ref could have let play continue a couple of times, but maybe didn't feel like the advantage was entirely there for either team. But it'd be good to see the game getting flowing. But I think you were just saying, Connor, about the centre halves. One massive priority going into the new year for Poole will be trying to lock down Owen Dorr. And I know the club are very interested in keeping him. I know that his contract at Salisbury runs out pretty soon, and to be honest, if he's not going to get a game at Salisbury, it makes sense for him to be here. He's clearly one of the better centre halves in the league, but would probably struggle to get a game at National South, so would work really well if we could keep hold of him.
Sholing with the ball down the right-hand side. Here's Reece Wiley. Set back to the number 6, Harry Taylor. Harry Taylor, who recently spent time in Canada with TRU Wolfpack. Actually came through Aldershots and Charlton's Academy. Back to Mason. That is Byron Mason, his brother Dan Mason, who's the club's leading all-time goal scorer with over 725 appearances. I think he scored in the region of 300 or so goals. He's on the bench today. Declan McCarthy, Sholing's goalkeeper, launching it long. Billy Lowe is unable to get there in front of Vinnie Toome. That's cleared high up in the air. Sholing winning the second ball, not for the first time today, George.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a pretty good area for them. It's just picking up those second balls and trying to get at us when we're maybe not as organised. I think we looked so good, didn't we, last game, Connor? Thought we were absolutely fantastic in that first half against Uxbridge. So organised, so drilled and disciplined in defence, but then clinical and really lethal up top. So I think it's going to be a game of fine margins. Sholing a very good side. We've got to make sure we're solid at the back and we take our chances if we get them.
Diaz trying to clear it long. Harvey Slade jumps in challenge, and that's a harsh foul there by Jake McCarthy. Oh, he definitely left something on Harvey Slade there, and things are starting to boil over a little bit. We know what sort of player Jake McCarthy is from his time at Poole Town and Weymouth, and that was slightly high there from Sholing's number 7.
Yeah, I think there's obviously a little bit of pepper in it, isn't there, with Jake obviously playing for us. And yeah, it's fair to say he was a huge disappointment at Poole, but that's not a reflection of him as a player. I think maybe just his head and his heart weren't necessarily there. But yeah, obviously doing a really good job for Sholing. I know he's been a fantastic signing for them. Scored 10 goals, is their top scorer, just ahead of Folivy. So yeah, going in there trying to win the ball, because I think he knows that Sholing's tactic today is going to be making the most of Poole when they're not at their best. There's a little slip. If he'd won the ball there, they're through. They've got a really good opportunity to hit us when we're not at our best in terms of organisation.
I think you summed that up well about Jake McCarthy's time at Poole Town. Long ball over the top. It'll be a Sholing goal kick here.
Happens a lot though, Connor, doesn't it, in football? It's like this season, looking at the league, and not necessarily talking about players, but teams-wise, a lot of the teams we thought were going to be up the top end of the table are struggling. Weymouth and Dorchester are having a pretty torrid time, and you just can't predict it with football. You can go, one player can go to one club and be an absolute revelation. They go to another club and it just doesn't work. So sadly, it didn't work for Jake at us. But fair play to him. He's doing well with Sholing. They obviously really value him in the team.
You can definitely see there's a player in there. I know Poole Town fans weren't too pleased with Jake McCarthy during his time at Poole, and probably rightly so, in all fairness. I don't think he lived up to his high expectations and maybe the amount of money that he was potentially on during his time at the club. But I think we've now got a squad of players who work really hard for the managers, whereas I think when Jake McCarthy was here, he maybe didn't do that, but that's definitely up to discussion. Jake McCarthy playing it over the top, defended well by Corey Jordan, but once again Sholing first that second ball round the corner. It's a good ball too, and they could have a chance if Folivy from range, and it's wide of the post and goes behind for a goal kick. But Sholing have arguably been the better of the two sides so far.
Yeah, I think in the early exchanges, Poole looked like they were getting the ball out wide and trying to stretch Sholing, and it was working, but it did leave some gaps in the midfield. But that seems to be their sort of target, is to overload the centre of the park. And you can see there, just when they got that second ball, I think Harvey Slade and maybe Billy Lowe's were just sort of in no man's land and sort of charging towards the ball a little bit hesitantly. And then Sholing pick up the ball and fashion a good chance. Unfortunately for Folivy, can't find the target, but a good chance for Sholing without a doubt.
Parks launching it long, and Antonio Diaz testing his pace down the right-hand side. That's Dan Wishart, and it's good defending by the Sholing backline. And they've tried to play their way out, but only to Harvey Slade. Lowe's still goalless here at Tattenham. 12 minutes played. Here's Ryan Campbell. Back to Owen Dorr. His foot on the ball. Owen Dorr just slowing the game down a little bit. Looks for Gwengwe. Slightly heavy pass. Back to Saeed. Brilliant. Great flick round the corner onto Lowe's now. Out wide to Ao down this left flank. Haven't seen too much of him so far. Still Ao. Gliding forward. Back to Ryan Campbell in that left back role. Lowe's. Slade now. Poole knocking the ball around nicely so far. Slim Saeed. It's almost unrecognisable out there at the moment with his new hairstyle, but I don't mind it too much. Still Saeed. Round the corner into Gwengwe, who's looking to turn his man. It's brilliant from Shaq. Inside the area, he goes down, and the referee waves it away. Well, you can hear the complaints from the Poole Town fans in the shed end, but the referee deciding not to point to the spot, and now things are starting to boil over.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, it looks like a clear pen to me. I mean, obviously I know I'm going to be biased, but it just seemed like he completely doesn't get any of the ball and just trips him. But then again, Shaquille, he's very good at winning penalties. He knows what he's doing.
Do apologise for Paul Doswell's comments there.
He's
slightly inappropriate.
He's a passionate man. But yeah, from here, quite a while away, it looks like he's won a penalty there. But then equally, the referee's got a decision to make there, because if it isn't a penalty, then it's a yellow card, Connor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it didn't get any of the ball. So it's got to be either a yellow card or a penalty. So
you are right. It's one or the other, isn't it? And the referee deciding not to point to the spot. There was maybe a little bit scared to give that decision.
I think he's bottled it a little bit there, because, like you say, if you brandish a yellow card, you're showing you've made a confident decision there, whether it's right or wrong. But he's almost in no man's land there. He doesn't want to punish either team. So difficult and disappointing.
Ao driving down the left flank, and he skipped round his man again. It's brilliant from Ao.
Oh,
goes down. This time the referee does give a free kick. It's only a free kick this time, but
Done
it was,
so well
it was a
there.
similar sort of situation to Shaquille Gwengwe going down inside the area there, but as it was outside the area, I think the referee was almost like, oh, it's okay, I can give the free kick.
Well, I think that's the thing about AO we've noticed since he's sort of joined the club is the first 2 or 3 games he's getting his minutes here and there. He's been starting the last sort of 5 or 6 games, and you know he's the sort of player where he might look a little bit, you know, I don't know how to put it. He just doesn't maybe get on the ball a huge amount, doesn't do a huge amount, and then all of a sudden he gets the ball at his feet, he drives at players, defenders, and causes all sorts of problems. And just there, you know, he's done so well to beat his man, knocks the ball past. He's got brilliant pace, brilliant power, and he's won a free kick right on the edge of the box on the left-hand side now for Antonio Diaz to whip him.
Antonio Diaz set to take. Poole Town have loaded the box full of red and white. A chance for us to get the ball across. Poole Town have definitely been the better of the 2 sides in the last 5 minutes. Diaz to take. Ball whipped into the air. Really good ball in there. Players flying out. Corey Jordan across. Here's the chance for Gwengwe, and it's gone through his legs and behind for a goal kick. And I tell you what, George, that's a chance.
Yeah, it's a massive, massive chance. The ball sort of goes right into the mix, deflects off of a Sholing defender, falls to Corey Jordan, who spins and slightly skews his effort, but it just drops towards Shaquille Gwengwe, who can't get a touch towards goal, and it drifts past and goes out wide of the goal. Really, really disappointed we couldn't find the back of the net there, because chances like that are not going to come along often, Connor. It's going to be a game of fine margins, and we need to take our chances when we get them.
Goal kick now for Sholing. Just looks to be launched long by Declan McCarthy, who's not related to Jake McCarthy. Ball up in the air, headed forward by Rabbits. Chris Campbell hooks it long. Mason's there first. Billy Lowe's forward, looking for Gwengwe, and it's a great flick onto Diaz. Almost nice link up between the two. Harvey Slade jumping into a challenge. Falls to Jake McCarthy now. Does slow the game down a little bit. Mason forced back to Wishart. And Sholing trying to play their way out. Battling up in the air. Rabbits gets in front of Chris Campbell, but it falls to Billy Lowe's of Poole. Onto Ryan Campbell now. Down that left flank, inside to Ao. Back to Lowe's, and Poole can almost get their foot on the ball for a few minutes. We've definitely been the better of the 2 sides in the last 6 minutes or so, George.
Yeah, and Sholing are definitely, that seems to be their strategy, Connor, is almost just soak up the pressure. We're looking good on the ball without sort of creating too much, but we need more of what we saw from AO. I think that it's those moments where there's a bit of bravery, player being a little bit more direct, running at the defenders and causing problems, because Shaquille could have easily had a penalty, and then AO obviously, you know, wins a free kick in a good area. It's those moments where we've got to capitalise, and they're not going to come up too often, with Sholing being a very, very organised, very good side. And, you know, it looks like they're playing a back 5 as well, Connor. So, you know, out of possession, they are going to be really tough to break down.
Corey Jordan back to Owen Dorr. Dorr inside to Lowe's. Slade now. Sholing continuing to press high. Corey Jordan taking a slightly heavy touch there. Gets away with it though. Saeed round the corner to Ryan Campbell. Can now break forward past the halfway line for Poole. Still goalless here. 17 minutes played. Ao looking to drive inside. Slight hint of a handball there, and the referee has spotted it. And the ref's just going to stop the game to go and have a chat with, well, Corey Jordan still down on the deck here, which is not a good sign at all. And this could be Ade's first chance potentially to get some minutes for Poole Town if Corey Jordan can't continue here.
Yeah, he doesn't look too happy, does he, Corey? He looks in quite a bit of pain, and at this point in the game, you'd say it certainly isn't going to be a tactical one. I mean, obviously, it's quite nice within sort of 20-25 minutes to have a bit of a drinks break, tactical drinks break, but I don't think that's the matter. Corey does look quite uncomfortable. I hope it's something he can get a bit of treatment and then resume. But yeah, and we're lucky to have Ade on the bench, because yeah, a player of his quality and experience at a very good level. You know, again, some teams wouldn't have a player like Ade to bring on, so let's hope we don't have to bring him on. But if we do, we're in safe hands, hopefully. Do
you want to maybe give us some scores on the doors, if you can have a little look on your phone?
Let me just get the phone out. I'll have a little look.
Well, good afternoon to Sam, Ryan, and everyone who is joining us from home today, listening along with our live commentary. It is still goalless here at Tattenham as it stands. It's been an eventful first 18 minutes. Shaquille Gwengwe with an interesting call for the referee, which was not pointing to the spot. And I can see Dan Wilson with the board in his hand, which maybe alludes to the fact that there is going to be a substitution here for Poole. Do you want to give some scores?
Absolutely, yeah. So in the Southern League Premier South, it's currently Basingstoke 0, Evesham 0, Berkhamsted 0, Chertsey 0, Farnham Town 0, Gosport 0, Gloucester 0, Hungerford 0. In fact, they're all 0-0 pretty much, apart from Walton and Hersham Hanwell, which is currently 2-0 to Walton and Hersham, the league leaders. So
they really are running away with it, aren't they, at this point in the season?
Yeah, they are. And fair play to them. I think the key thing in any league and any football league is to be consistent, and that's certainly something they have been, and been very solid in defence, very good in attacking areas, and ultimately, it's the two boxes that determine it, isn't it? So, but yeah, they're currently, if everything stays the way it is, they're 10 points adrift of Gloucester on 21 games played.
Wow.
So, yeah, interesting.
There is going to be a substitution here. It's actually going to be Charlie Davis to come on. I believe it will be Corey Jordan to depart. Well, that's an interesting one because we've got an out-and-out centre-back on the bench in Ade. Maybe alluding to the fact that Joe and Pat maybe don't trust Ade at this point in the
Yeah,
season.
and to be fair, when he was with us last time, it was under Steve Tully, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So they've probably not seen a huge amount of him. He's obviously not been playing in this league. He's been playing out in America. So, yeah, they're looking to prefer Charlie to go into right back. Obviously, I believe Charlie played for Sholing, didn't he? So they'll have a good knowledge of him.
It's an interesting one because who's going to go into centre back if?
That'll be Ryan Campbell, won't it?
Yeah, and then
Ryan
Chris
Campbell
go to left
with
back.
Owen Dorr,
Yeah.
Chris will go left back, and then Charlie Davis at right back. So same shape, but a little bit of a personnel shuffle there. A shame about Corey Jordan coming off, but I think that'll definitely adjust the way that Sholing go into the rest of this game. I mean, they're certainly going to be looking to capitalise on Ryan Campbell's lack of height at centre back. Obviously, a very, very good player, very versatile player, but they've got some big players, and I think aerially they are certainly a threat.
Played forward by Declan McCarthy. The game is now back underway. Jake McCarthy wins it in the air. Ryan Campbell is there first. Onto Harvey Slade. Tough challenge there by Jake McCarthy. And the referee's actually given Sholing a free kick. I've got to say, this referee has been very stop-start so far.
Yeah, not only that, but I personally didn't think that was a free kick at all. He's just gone in. They've both got their arms over each other, sort of shoulder to shoulder. Harvey's come out with the ball. Yeah, it's been a frustrating performance so far from the referee, in all honesty. He's kind of killed a bit of momentum in the game, and a couple of decisions I'm sure both benches won't be happy about.
It's going to be Dan Wishart to take here for Sholing. There's going to be a ball into the area. Number 16, Reece Wiley, is making a run down the left-hand side. It is into the air. It's a really good ball in there, actually, to the back stick, played back across. And there was no one in yellow there to find the back of the net. Still alive here for Sholing. Forced slightly backwards. His slim side has nicked off his toes. Round the corner onto Diaz. Back to Saeed. It's a nice link up, and it'll be a Poole Town throw-in on the near side. It was nice that to deal with it, wasn't it?
Yeah, Salim and Diaz do really well there, because in that tight space with a lot of pressure on you, you've got to get your weight of pass, get your touch absolutely spot on, and they did. Fair play to them, and relieves a bit of pressure as Poole launched the ball down the Charlie Davis throw, and we get another throw-in right by the dugout. Charlie Davis now on makeshift right back on for Corey Jordan, who was injured just now.
Davis launching it into play, headed up in the air by Sholing, and it's out of play for another Poole Town throw. It's been quite an even contest all in all so far. Charlie Davis has come on in that right back role. You are correct, George, wearing the number 8 shirt. Davis throws it into play, looking for Gwengwe, who's being held back. The referee lets the game continue this time. Good defending by Ryan Campbell, despite Michael Falivi being right on his toes. Back to Parks. Big warm welcome to everyone joining us from home today. The score here is currently 0-0 between the two sides. 23 minutes played. Chris Campbell. Ball round the corner. It's a good ball too from Billy Lowe's. Onto Chris Campbell now. Chris Campbell can launch it over the top. It's not a bad ball. It does go into the hands of Declan McCarthy. Chris Campbell and Declan McCarthy have actually faced each other already this season in Ballers League.
Oh, really?
Which is an interesting
Yeah,
fact for you there,
I
George.
knew about Chris playing. I know that he's obviously managed by Ian Wright. I think it's Wembley Rangers he plays for. But yeah, I didn't know that about the Sholing keeper. Fair play to him.
He plays for NSFC, if anyone does watch Ballers League, away by Owen Dorr. Picked up now by Reece Wiley. It's good defending by Ryan Campbell once again. Does well to deal with it on the far side. That'll be a Poole Town throw. And I think Ryan Campbell's one of those players who we don't go on about too much, but we probably should do, because he genuinely does play an 8 out of 10 every week.
Yeah, I think the fans do, to be honest, Connor. I think it's hard not to have a conversation and have his name drop in just because of his versatility, but his quality, his leadership, the fact he's stepped into that captaincy role with Jamie Wiskin coming back from an injury, obviously Josh Staunton retiring, and we've got a lot of good leaders at the club. There's a good mixture in our squad. Some young players like Adam Parks, who's got a very bright future ahead of him, but then some very good experienced players at this level and higher. So, yeah, I mean, having Ryan is a huge asset. And I'm really surprised he's not played at a higher level, to be honest. Like, no disrespect to Swindon Supermarine, but would have expected him to have played at least, you know, National South.
I mean, there's
football.
certain players that are just very, very loyal and committed. And I have a feeling if Swindon did stay up last season, he probably still would be there now.
Yeah,
in all honesty, he spent 8
definitely.
years at the club. Good ball over the top, looking for Chris Campbell, who's going to try and keep that in play right over by the corner flag. And he's done well, and the Sholing player goes down. The referee allowing the game to continue this time, and correctly so. Here's Ayo now, back to Slim Said. Slade's got a lot of space on the edge of the area. Here is Harvey Slade now. Ball to the right-hand side. Charlie Davis in an advanced right position. Back to Diaz. Round the corner to Slade now. On to Ryan Campbell. Ball out to Chris Campbell. Pulls out, knocking it around nicely. Ball into the air. Good ball looking for Gwengwe in there, and it's good defending by Mason at the back, and it will go out for a goal kick, actually.
That's frustrating. Yeah, it looked like it was a corner.
Well, I'm not too sure how the referee's actually given a goal kick there.
Yeah, the Poole Town fans behind the goal in the shed are absolutely fuming. I mean, it's so obvious, isn't it? So obvious. And the lino's not even helping. I mean, it's clear Mason's clearly headed the ball out there. Clearly. I mean, fair play to Mason. It was really good defending, but shocking from the referee.
We do
woeful.
try and praise the ref as much as possible. On
We do try, yeah, we do. Emphasis on that word, Connor. Try there. Goodness me.
Has been slightly difficult so
I mean,
far.
I've reffed like youth football, and I have to say it's a very tough job. Even like reffing kids is hard. So reffing this lot, I don't think it's an easy job, Connor. But I will say some things like that. It's just you don't need to go to Specsavers to see that, to be honest.
Declan McCarthy with a goal kick here. Eventually launched forward. Ball was getting caught up in the air a little bit there. Headed up in the air by Magri, but not exactly too far forward. Slade onto Diaz now. Good flick, but unable to keep it alive for Poole. The ball does fall to Harvey Slade, and it will be a Poole Town throw-in on this near side. Still goalless here as we do approach the half-hour mark of this one at Tattenham.
It's just got the feeling of that sort of game, Connor, doesn't it, where it could just be one goal or no goals that decides it. Both teams are really, in that sort of chess match feeling to it. It's just both teams really cancelling each other out. Bit of a stalemate at the moment. Just needs that little moment of quality to unlock the game.
Slim side up against Dan Wishart. Mason is going to try and let the ball roll out. The play's been caught inside the area. Diaz keeps it alive. Still Antonio Diaz.
Oh, it's a tough one.
It's been forced backwards. Just about manages to keep it in play though. Still Antonio Diaz right over by the corner flag. Skips round one. It's brilliant from Diaz. Driving forward into the area. Still Diaz shoots goalwards, and I don't think that was the correct option there from Antonio Diaz. Good work though.
Yeah, I think the blood was rushing. He's unbelievable there. I think for a second he thought he was Lionel Messi. But no, brilliant footwork from Diaz. It's so well with 2 or 3 players chasing him into the corner. Cat and mouse stuff there, and he managed to evade them. Got himself down the byline and should have just cut it across. You can see Ayo absolutely furious that he hasn't cut it back to him. But yeah, had a bit of venom, bit of blood pumping, and he thought he could beat the keeper in the near post. Probably the wrong call.
Declan McCarthy playing it across to Mason. Mason launching it forward. Chris Campbell does well to win it back on the left-hand side. Still driving forward. He's evaded 1 or 2 challenge. Onto Ayo now. Poole breaking forward in numbers here. Ayo driving at Mason into the area. Still Ayo cuts it across, looking for Diaz, and it's good defending in the end by the Sholing backline as it goes behind for a corner.
And that's exactly what Ayo can do. You know, Chris, fantastic play, so brave. We were saying earlier, weren't we? That bravery is what you need in a game like this. You just need to take a bit of a gamble in good areas of the pitch where if you lose it, you're not necessarily going to put yourself in danger. And Chris, out wide on that left-hand side, drives forward, beats his man, plays it into Ayo, and Ayo just does brilliantly to get himself in a good position to cut the ball back. But well defended from Sholing. It's a corner now. So our set-piece specialist, Charlie Davis, looks to take it.
Charlie Davis with the ball, plays it into the area, headed away by Wishart. It's still up in the air. Davis is going to challenge the second ball. It's not a bad ball across. The face of goal, and it's really good goalkeeping. Still alive in the box here. Slade back to Slim Said. Said across, really good ball in there. Still alive, and it's eventually cleared away. You're just waiting for the ball to find the back of the net. They're still alive for Poole. Here's Davis. Back to Ryan Campbell. It's a really good ball back into the area by Charlie Davis. Looking for Gwengwe now. Punched away by the goalkeeper. Slade can keep it alive. Back across the face of goal. And it's Slim Said coming in. And it goes behind for a goal kick. It's all Poole Town at the moment, George.
Yeah, I tell you what, Chris Campbell looked like he was playing Baller League there, Connor. Just lining himself up to, slow motion overhead kick. But it just looked like he couldn't quite pull it off. Bit of Salim there just trying to whip the ball into the corner, and it goes just wide. But really good moment there from Poole. And I think that's exactly what we've been saying, a bit of bravery. It's all you need in a game like this. I think it's all good working the ball around that sort of horseshoe around the box and playing it safe and trying to be patient. But Sholing are set up to frustrate us. They've got that back five out of possession, which is really tough to deal with, and then they're bombing forward when they get those moments, those second balls we were talking about. But Poole have got to take their moments to try and create spaces, and sometimes you got to force it. You got to gamble.
Launched forward by Declan McCarthy, and Jake McCarthy challenging it. There will be a Sholing ball right on the halfway line here, as we are now over the half-hour mark. Still goalless between the two sides here at Tattenham. On a rather nice afternoon, considering it's the 20th December. It's actually quite nice weather out there at the moment.
Yeah, it's lovely, really lovely. I mean, a lot better than Thursday. Goodness me.
Yeah, to say at least, I played football on Thursday evening. It was a wet one, to say the least.
Yeah, a long shower after that.
Played forward. Slim side there first, looking for Gwengwe. Great
brilliant.
flick onto Slim side. It's a really good ball across. Here's Ao now onto his left foot. Ao shoots, and it's a big stop by the keeper. Gwengwe! Off the line. Diaz on the follow. And it's over the bar. How close can you get, George?
Oh my goodness, that is unbelievable. I mean, the defending there from Sholing, and fair play to the keeper and the defenders. They've done so well there to keep that out. I mean, Ao with the first chance on his left foot, pretty point blank range. The keeper manages to stop it. It's pretty much straight at him. He does well to get it away. And the follow up, Shaquille Gwengwe just tries to get the ball across, but there's about 4 or 5 Sholing defenders launching themselves at it.
I don't know how that's not hit the back of net there. It
Falls
was
out
heroic defending.
But Diaz on the third one, he's got to get his head over the ball. And don't get me wrong, it's easier said than done, but just doesn't get anywhere near enough on it to be a goal. It just sort of floats harmlessly just over the bar. Hard one to keep down, but difficult there. Poole should have been 1-0 up, but looks like the keeper's gone down, whether that's just to have a bit of a huddle for Sholing or a genuine injury, but given the nature of the save, could well be an injury.
Well, I think Sholing were probably the better of the sides in the first 10 minutes, but after that it has been all Poole Town. Do you have some more scores on the doors for us, George, if you can give us a run through while we have
a little look.
A little break in play?
Yeah, I think so. To be honest, the only change, every game is 0-0 apart from Walton and Hersham, 3-0 against Hamwell at the moment. But other than that, yeah, it's 0-0 in every other game. In the Premier League, Bournemouth 0-0 with Burnley, Ipswich 0, Sheffield Wednesday 0 in the Championship. Man City 1-0 up against West Ham, Erling Haaland with another goal.
Of course.
And Newcastle 2, Chelsea 2 was the full-time result earlier. Other than that, it's Brighton 0, Sunderland 0. It's not a lot of goals so far in the football across the pyramid.
And we are now back underway here at Tattenham. Still goalless between the two sides, but it's certainly been an eventful. It's been a tasty one out there today. It's been a feisty one too. Ball over the top. Owen Dorr doing really good job to deal with that. And Adam Parks can now launch forward, looking for the run of Diaz. It's a great touch there by Wishart onto Rabbits, round the corner into Vinnie Toom now, driving at Charlie Davis. Still Toom looking to skip round his man. Davis has done well to hold him up, and Slim Saeed's getting back too. Set back to Dan Wishart, who's having a good game so far. I wasn't sure who it was that cleared it off the line from that Gwengwe effort, but it was brilliant defending, in all honesty, to get back there and to hook his foot round it and keep it off the line. Because as Gwengwe took the shot, you thought it was just going to easily go into the back of the net. Yeah,
it was good technique from Gwengwe, to be fair, sort of that, sort of slicing it with the laces up high. It was a good technique to try and bring the ball down, keep it low. But yeah, the defenders did so well, and that's the thing with that Sholing back three with the wing backs. They're going to be able to get bodies behind the ball when they're defending, and in that case, another defence with 4 at the back could have easily found the back of the net, but they had enough bodies to prevent it.
Owen Dorr first to it. He's launched over the top. It's not a bad ball, which Chris Campbell's looking to run onto. It has gone out for a throw-in on that far side. Still Poole Town 0, Sholing 0 here. 34 minutes played.
Got to give credit to Charlie Davis, obviously tucking in at right back. But one thing I will say is that just that moment there, Connor, maybe that little bit of positional awareness and 1v1 defending. Charlie obviously struggled there a little bit, and it just means that down that left-hand side for Sholing, they're going to probably look to target that area. And that's no disrespect to Charlie. Obviously, fair play to him, versatile player to be able to play in centre midfield and come in at right back. But it's not easy.
I do think that's something you could say about Charlie Davis. He's not a natural defender, is he really? Which is the slight worry when you're bringing him on instead of Ade, who is a natural centre back. But obviously with maybe the lack of game time Addy's had, I don't know if he's been playing out in America regularly. I think Charlie Davis is someone that Joe and Pat can trust, and we know they like using him in that right back role when they can. Does look like there may have been a foul there for Sholing.
And I think realistically, like with Staunce retiring and Wiss coming back from injury, they'll probably have brought Addy in almost as a an emergency cover player, which I'm sure Addy's completely okay with. They probably would have had that conversation, but as a manager, you want to prioritise. You hope that managers would prioritise their permanent players, and loan signings would just be there just in case, really. And I'm sure Addy loves the club, the fans love him. It'd be great to see him get some minutes at some point, but it's got to be for the right reason. It's got to be based on the trust of the managers.
Declan McCarthy launching it forward. He hasn't got a great kick on him, in all honesty. It does keep getting caught up in the air. I don't know if it's because the wind out there. Diaz looking for the run of Gwengwe. It's well defended by Mason and Wishart, who've had their work cut out a little bit so far, but they've managed to keep Gwengwe at bay at this point in the game.
Yeah, and I think Gwengwe is obviously such a target, I think, now for every team that comes up against Poole. They know that he's a danger man, and his danger, I guess, just creates more space and hopefully a little bit of freedom for the likes of Salim Saeed and obviously the attacking players out wide. Antonio Diaz, IK Hill, AO, and even Chris Campbell when he's playing there. So I think that's the thing. You've almost got to use those target players to take an extra man, and then it just creates space for others, doesn't it?
Here's Antonio Diaz now.
Good ball.
Looking for Gwengwe in behind. Into Declan McCarthy now for Sholing. Still 0-0 here at Tatnam. As the Sholing goalkeeper taking his time with this one. As he eventually launches it forward. Interesting kick. Chris Campbell is there first and hooks it up in the air. There's been a little bit of a game of headers and volleys so far today. Poole Town getting the better of this one though. Billy Lowe's gliding forward, looking for Diaz in behind. Who's in here? Diaz is through. It's a big stop by the goalkeeper. Salim, it's wide. Salim Saeed on the follow-up. And you're wondering how that hasn't hit the back of the net there.
I mean, let's be honest, that's unbelievable from Billy Lowe's. That does so well. Number one, just to get in there and win the ball, but then to hook the ball away, just to sort of loft the ball away from the other players in the midfield, and then opens up the space, spots that run. Lovely pass with the outside of his boot onto Antonio Diaz, who's through on goal. Diaz almost on the stretch, stabs the ball towards goal. Keeper stands up big and strong. Again, it's straight at the goalkeeper. And then on the follow-up, Salim effort goes over the bar. It's just, really, really frustrating for Poole. We've had 2 or 3 really good chances, and like I said earlier, Connor, it's going to be a game of fine margin. Sholing haven't really had much of a sniff, but second half the game could swing. They could take an opportunity, and we'll rue those missed chances. So, we need to take one as soon as possible.
I have no idea how we aren't leading this game at this stage. And I think Joe and Pat will probably be thinking the same as well. We've had so many chances in this game to take the lead. And I think Declan McCarthy in the Sholing goal has made some really important stops to keep his side in it as it stands. Yeah, and it's a combination of that. I mean, him standing up and being brave, but also us just not challenging him enough. Ultimately, if you're putting the ball straight into the goalkeeper, the likelihood is if he stands up tall, he's going to save it. But just even something slightly to the side, and we'd be in. Brilliant. Side getting the better of Jake McCarthy, and Poole breaking forward again, looking for AO. Slightly delayed it a little bit. AO back to Lowe's, who's got a lot of pressure on him, and Sholing have won it back, and now they can look to break forward. Michael Falivi's on the run. He's looked for Falivi, and Owen Dorr slipped, but Charlie Davis comes across the cover. Ryan Campbell now into Dorr. Back to Charlie Davis, who can break forward from the back now. As Poole Town look to launch another attack. Davis over the top, looking for Gwengwe. Good defending by Dan Wishart. And it's another Poole Town thrown on this near side. 38 minutes played, still goalless here at Tatnam, but Poole Town have certainly been the better of the two sides so far today. There's another man gone down here for Sholing, and it has been so stop-start so far today, hasn't it, George?
It has, but to be fair, I think in the opening sort of 10-15 minutes, you would have said there wasn't really a lot between the sides. But like you say, Connor, we've definitely had the big chances in this game, and there's been, a few where it's just been like pinball, hasn't it? Coming back and forth with goalkeepers and defenders putting their body on the line. Poole will just be flabbergasted that they're not 1-0 up at this point, and it is going to be one of those games where it could be a single goal that determines who wins it. But I wouldn't rule out Sholing having some chances, and it could be in the next 5 minutes, could be second half, but we're looking good so far. But it's a funny game, football. Anything can happen, and we just need to be alert. We need to be alert because Sholing are a good outfit. They taught us a lesson at their stadium a few months ago, and we know they've got it in them. So yeah, let's try and get ahead and see if we can build on that rather than going into the latter stages of the game at 0-0 when it's on a knife's edge.
Well, Sholing player is finally getting back to his feet. It's Vinny Toom over there. It's interesting to see whether it will be a change here for the away side. Vinny Toom is now back to his feet over there. He may be able to continue. Vinny Toom is an 18-year-old striker who did make a few substitute appearances last season for Sutton United at League 2 level. Now joined permanently for Sholing, but still a young forward himself. Charlie Davis eventually getting on with the game. Throws it to Owen Dorr. Here's Ryan Campbell. Owen Dorr again.
I think Dorr was daydreaming a little bit there as the ball was. To be fair, Charlie probably should have
Giving him a bit of warning.
Should have given, but I think he just assumed he'd be switched on. Chris Campbell wasn't very happy, and a proper shout just there.
Back to Deck McCarthy. Saeed continuing to press. And the Sholing goalkeeper does get it away, but Harvey Slade doing brilliant jump in. Harvey Slade still coming forward here for Poole, looking to play it in behind. Good defending by Sholing, and the referee is going to award Sholing a free kick there. A foul on Magri. Looks like Magri's almost playing as that kind of like deep lying midfielder role at times in this game. He's the furthest forward of the centre backs, to say the least.
Yeah, well, I think that's quite common, isn't it? That football teams will have different shape depending on sort of, I guess, the phase of the game, but also like whether in possession, out of possession. It's quite common, isn't it, when we're in possession, Billy will sort of drop into that defensive two and becomes almost like a back three, and the fullbacks really push up high. But I think on the whole, Sholing are looking to be as hard to beat as possible. They want to be that sort of team that doesn't concede many, maybe just nicks the game.
Vinny Toom has gone down again. You can hear Dan Wilson, the kit man, there just saying, "Is it 10 added?"
I mean, let's be honest.
It probably could have been.
Wouldn't surprise me. It's going to be close. There's been a number of times players have been down on the deck or games been stopped for this reason or that reason. It's been ridiculous. I feel like we've had about 4 drinks breaks, to be honest.
Antonio Diaz just having a drink there. He's been fantastic so far this season.
Yeah.
Hasn't he, Antonio
Well,
Diaz?
it's been a big year for him, hasn't it, Diaz? I mean, when he joined the club...
A big year for his hairline as well, actually.
Been a turkey. Yeah. No, I'm joking, obviously. But he's obviously become a father. He's got himself in really good shape. He's playing some of his best football for years. Think about Diaz is when he joined the club, there's a lot of excitement because he's the sort of player for Gosport and Salisbury. Last few years he's been involved in playoff pushing sides. He's a real asset at this level. So I think when he came to us and he was a bit out of shape and was playing left back a lot of the time, I think a lot of fans were a bit underwhelmed. But start of the season and until now, he's been superb. And his attitude and just the smile on his face, on the pitch, he's like a kid in a sweet shop, isn't he? He just absolutely loves it. And you love players like that, especially at this level where they give so much for the club. And the fans appreciate it.
He is certainly one of the nicest people I've met.
Yeah, absolutely.
At this level. Ball into the area, away by Owen Dorr. Billy Lowe's forward, looking for Slim side. Magri keeps the ball and it will go out of play on that far side. And that's a little bit of a waste there from Sholing. And you can see that they're not the better of the two sides in this game. And Poole Town have certainly enjoyed more possession and had a lot more chances as well. Yeah,
absolutely. And I think, Sholing there, when they find themselves in the midfield, they do sometimes have little pockets of space they can feed into, but there they've just played it straight out, and throwing for Poole Town relieves the pressure. It's just what we need now with only a couple of minutes plus the potential 10 added minutes, as Dan Wilson alluded to.
Tommy Lee Higgs did also come onto the field for Sholing just a few moments ago. He's currently on loan.
Oh, what a ball.
From Farnborough. Poole breaking forward down the right-hand side through Diaz again. Up against Wishart here. Still Diaz. Slowed it down slightly. Been forced back to Harvey Slade, who keeps it alive. Out to Charlie Davis now, who's got a lot to do from that position. Davis looking to launch it into the air. Collected by Ao. Still Ao. Turns his man. Looks back to Charlie Davis. 43 minutes played. Still goalless. Over the top for Slim side. Away by Magri. And it's out for a Poole Town throw-in on the near side here.
Yeah, I think fantastic ball just then. Really, really good ball into Antonio Diaz. Held the ball up well. Maybe had it a little bit too long, but... we're shielding the ball well in possession.
Gwengwe still battling away down that right flank. Set back to Diaz. Davis now, chance to get into the air, and he does just that. Good ball to the back stick, looking for Chris Campbell. And it's gone behind for a goal kick. Not a bad idea from Charlie Davis, though. I think has had a really good impact on this game since coming on. Yeah, well, like we said, he's not a fullback, but I think when it comes to his pressing, his aggression out of possession, but also his quality with the ball at his feet, he's maybe not sort of
the slickest dribbler, but in terms of his ability, like passing the ball, crossing the ball, we see it from the set pieces. He's definitely a real asset at this level, and you see why Pat and Joe wanted him in the side when they joined the club and to keep him around.
Det McCarthy with a goal kick here. I think I've just heard confirmation from Poole Doswell, the Sholing manager there, that it's 5 added.
Only half what Dan thought.
Wishart up in the air. Harvey Slade wins that second ball. Diaz looking to flick it on. Slade gets there in front of Jake McCarthy, who's been kind of isolated in this game so far, the ex-Dolphin. Charlie Davis around the corner looking for side. Good interception from Joe Rabbits, and now Sholing can have their first chance in quite a while to go forward here. Owen Dorr comes across and does cover it well. Back to Adam Parks, who needs to be careful now with the ball at his feet. A little bit of a worry there as he plays it to Ryan Campbell. Almost got flashbacks to the Tiverton game. Probably shouldn't have spoke too soon. Parks.
Yeah, it's all right.
Onto Owen Dorr, and I think the danger has been averted as we launch forward down the right-hand side. Diaz maybe could have made that if he stuck out a leg there, but it goes out for a Sholing throw-in. Do you reckon Joe and Pat will be frustrated that we're not leading this game as we approach half-time?
Yeah, I think the message will be very clear. Just we've played pretty well. We've dealt with their physical battle. We've had to deal with a couple of times where they've been winning the second balls and causing a couple of problems early on. But on the whole, we've been the dominant team. We've had the key chances of the game. I think they'll be frustrated that Sholing's sort of pressure-soaking nature of their defending has paid off for them, because we've had some good chances, but they've had bodies on the line. Maybe just say, look, lads, we need to be clinical, because there are times where we're getting good chances, we're hitting it straight at the keeper, and if we do that too often, we're gonna find ourselves really ruin it when the end of the season comes, and we potentially miss out on the position we want to finish in, whether that's second, third, fourth, or fifth. It doesn't even first. You never know, Connor. So, we need to take more chances when we get through on goal.
It is still goalless here at Tattenham. Interesting ball over top from Ryan Campbell there. Certainly don't think that's where he meant to put it, as we are slowly approaching the half-time whistle here. There were 5 added. We're now into the 46th minute. Joe Rabbits back to Wishart. Poole continuing to press high. Wishart gets away from Diaz. Good defending from him. He's probably been Sholing's standout player so far this afternoon.
Yeah, he's not the tallest centre half, but he's good on the ball, carries the ball out well, and he's a strong lad, always looking to get in there, physical challenge and battles away. He's quite an intelligent player.
Still battling away. The ball almost coming in our direction.
He's actually got the
here.
same boots as me, to be fair, number 5. I know. You wouldn't expect
the
it.
George Fullerton special.
I look like a guy that would wear black Umbros, to be honest. That's my footballing ability. But no, yellow Nikes, same colour as my car.
Well, there we go.
I know. What can I say?
Sholing now looking to break forward down that right flank. Bradley Target flicked it on. I haven't actually mentioned his name once. I forgot he was playing Bradley Target over there. Certainly been isolated in today's game. The manager asking how long's left. There is a timer over there, but
yeah, there is a timer on the board. Yeah. It's all right. Not used to it at every ground at this level, to be fair. Number of times I'm at a game and I don't even think about looking for a scoreboard. No. So it's a nice luxury to have, isn't it? There will be one at Wimborne though in a few days' time.
Hopefully be showing a positive result in Poole Town's favour on the day. Do make sure you are buying your tickets for that one. Don't leave it to the day. If you are going to go to Wimborne, make sure you buy it on Fanbase in advance. That's a clear kick away there by Joe Rabbits. Correctly spotted by you and the referee, George. Good decision from him toward Joe Rabbits. A yellow card.
Something, Connor, honestly.
There's no need for that, George. There's no need for that.
It's all right. I'll give him my glasses at half-time, shall I?
We've got 2 minutes to play till the half-time whistle here. Still goalless between the two sides as it stands. Today's commentary is sponsored by Link Homes Estate, and do go and check them out at half-time if you can. Chris Campbell with the free kick here. The referee telling him to take it from a little bit further back, but eventually Chris is going to launch this one forward as he looks for Harvey Slade, who tries to head it across onto Charlie Davis. Ball into the area now, headed away by the Sholing backline again. Ryan Campbell looking to get in front of Falivi, and now Sholing can look to break forward. Slimside doing his best to get back at him. Good defending there, but it does fall to number 20, Tommy Lee Higgs, and it's good footwork from him. Looking for Rabbits. Charlie Davis has gone all the way back and has actually done well to deal with it too.
Just giving a poor ball. I was just saying it's a foul. Yeah, Davis has gone down there.
Well, I
Looks
think
in quite a lot of pain. Could have been a bit of afters there.
Difficult to see what actually happened there. But
to be fair, I saw Charlie clear the ball and then he went out of view because obviously we're kind of blocked off a little bit by the Takeshi's Castle building that we're in. And yeah, it looks like the bench really weren't happy with that.
Well, it was difficult to see, but by the reaction, it seemed like it was a harsh challenge on Charlie Davis there.
A bit of afters after the clearance from Davis there. Like I say, didn't see it unfortunately, but big reaction from the bench, as you'd expect.
Well, it is still goalless at Tattenham. It's probably about a minute or so to play. I think the referee may have awarded a free kick. He's still talking to players over there, but there's been a few of those challenges in today's games. The sort of ones where if it's a Premier League level, VAR might even get involved in the decision. But I think that one...
Yeah, well, it's like the Jake McCarthy one earlier, isn't it? That sort of lunging challenge.
Well, it's Joe Rabbits as well, who's just been booked, actually.
Interesting. Well, he's not got
Referee
anything.
letting him off. Maybe a final warning for Sholing's left back there.
Well, that would be a huge boost, wouldn't it, if they were to get a player sent off? Because, you know, having that sort of margin in this game would just suddenly create a very, very good position for Poole to go and capitalise in the game. But they need to do it with 11v11. We've had the chances this half. Not long left, should be any minute really now with the whistle going for half time.
Parks launching it forward. Magri is there first. Harvey Slade over the top, defended by Mason, but still up in the air. Gwengwe leaps, doesn't win it. The referee pulling it back for a free kick that probably wasn't a free kick. And there is the half-time whistle here at Tattenham. It goes in goalless. Go into the break rather goalless, but I think Poole Town have certainly been the better of the two sides in today's game and have been a little bit hard done by that we haven't taken the lead. There has been a lot of stop-start in this afternoon's game, and I think Joe Lee is just going over to the referee there to have a chat with him and just say, like, come on mate, you need to help the game a little bit maybe. But I mean, ultimately we haven't been able to take one of our chances in this game, and 0-0 at the break is maybe a fair reflection. I think Poole have certainly had the better of the chances so far though. George, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd absolutely agree, and I think starting off talking about Joe Lee, I mean, right now I can see he's not happy at all with the referee, but this is not the sort of thing we would see often, is it, from Joe? So he obviously feels really passionate that Charlie's been completely done wrong there, and that the player should be off, that it should have been a second yellow card for the number 3. But you know, absolutely fair play to Joe for sticking up for his players there, because you know there's a lot of people on the bench, not just Joe, that feel like that was quite a rough challenge and one that maybe warranted more. But yeah, in terms of the game though, Connor, in terms of the football side of things, I think
it's been a good game.
Poole have been a really impressive looking outfit. We've been really disciplined, I think, in terms of our shape. You know, I think there's been a couple of times where they've had the odd moment where they've got a bit of joy on the edge of the box, but they haven't really created many clear-cut chances. I wouldn't say there's been anything that's troubled Adam Parks. They've had 2 or 3 efforts that have gone wide, but on the whole, we've been absolutely brilliant in terms of getting those moments of bravery. You know, AO, obviously, fantastic stuff. Shaquille Gwengwe could have easily had a penalty. Be interesting to watch that back on the highlights, but just got to take our chances, Connor, and just try to get one of those finishes either side of the goalkeeper, and we're 1 or 2-0 up, without a doubt.
100%. We will leave it there for half-time here at Tattenham. We go into the break goalless, and after an eventful first 45 minutes, we'll be back in about 10 minutes' time for the second half on a new link. So do head over to Dolphins TV on YouTube to find our live commentary there. Half-time score here at Tattenham. Poole Town 0, Sholing 0. And we'll be back in about 10 minutes' time.